Hey everyone, I'm Anthony Gethers.
And I'm Greg Weiss.
And we are good dudes with bad hearts.
No, literally.
Our hearts are broken.
I have heart failure.
And I have a transplant.
We never thought we'd have heart problems.
But we do.
And they're real.
And they suck. And that's why we're here.
To talk to you about heart failure,
heart attacks, and everything that comes with these conditions.
Each week we will bring you an episode featuring guests with heart issues.
We're talking about doctors and health professionals.
And we're talking about everyday people.
Like you and I. Together, we'll share useful information.
Providing useful lifestyle tips.
And how to prepare heart-healthy meals.
We'll tell our stories and hopefully make your hearts
better.
Welcome to Change of Heart.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Anthony Gethers here, and I am your host for Change of Heart podcast. I'm here with my co-host,
Greg Weiss, and we have another episode talking with people who've suffered heart disease, and they're going to tell their firsthand experiences about before their episode that generally becomes a life-changing moment. Our guest tonight is Bobby Koerner.
Yay,
and
Bobby.
Bobby's, hey.
Hello, guys.
Yep.
How you doing?
And we met Bobby from, music interests. And Anthony, I'm going to let you start it off.
All right, so we met Bobby through, musical interests. I was doing promos for their band. We've also interviewed Bobby for our other podcast, Case for Bass, of course, which is our bass podcast. And Bobby, besides having the musical thing in common with all of us, Bobby also has a heart condition, like all of us as well. So I don't quite understand that. Actually, also the fact that we're all bass players. We're all bass players and we have heart conditions and we're musicians. And here we are about to talk about it. So Bobby, tell me about your particular situation and what exactly happened to you. When did you realize that you actually had a bit of an issue with your heart, with your tinker?
I had no idea that I had any issues with my heart, and just was, was I, doing things that I'm not supposed to be doing? Let's say, I was drinking. I always drank. I drank them for years. I'm not a whiskey guy, but I would drink a lot of beers. I used to like my beer. And I was off from my day job and stopped and had a few early beers at the American Legion, which opens nice and early. And then I came home to go over a few songs. I was heading for a rehearsal later on in the day and just was burping since the morning.
Wow.
Since I pretty much, since I say from 9 o'clock until now, I'm sitting down here actually, and it was like 2 o'clock, and I was kind of burping for a couple of hours.
But you said you went to the.
I don't burp in front of her.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You said you went to the American Legion. So you said you went to the American Legion?
Yes.
Okay, you're a veteran.
Yes. That's no, I'm not. I was a son of the American Legion. Like I joined as the Sons of the American Legion.
I'm a son.
I'm not a veteran, but I joined there and kind of support that post. Anyway, it was like a watering hole,
Okay.
Even Sunday we go to second mass.
Got it.
Go to church and then stop over and have a few cocktails after church. So anyway, that's where I was, and I'm down going over some songs, and all of a sudden I'm burping, and Patty says, "What's with the burping?" Because I never burped in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, I've been burping couple. She goes, how long? I said, a couple of hours. She says, that's not normal. Something's wrong. Do you want to go to the emergency room? And I'm like, absolutely not. No, I don't want to go to the emergency room. I'm burping. I had a few beers. It's normal. And she said, no, it's not normal. And I'm calling Christine, which is her daughter, whose friend is married to a cardiologist. And I want to see what he thinks about it. And she got in touch with him, called Christine. Christine called back and said, Elliot says to go to the hospital, go to the emergency room, tell him that you're his patient and they'll be waiting for you. So I was like, okay, put on some comfortable clothes just in case. And we head to the emergency room. They know I'm coming. And the first thing they did was EKG. I believe that's what it is, right?
Echocardiogram.
Right. and comes back with the results. He said, your results are fine. Just everything looks good. But since you came into the emergency room, we have to take a chest x-ray and we have to take some blood. So we're going to do that. And then, they put me in one of them little waiting room, little room side, with the curtain. And I'm there for an hour or two waiting for these results. And the emergency room doctor, I guess, came in and he said, I'm going to keep you here. I said, really? Wow. I said, did I have a heart attack or something? He goes, I think you might be having a heart attack right now. And I go, really? He goes, you don't feel weird? I go, I feel like I got gas. He goes, yeah, well, he goes, I'm not a cardiologist, but there's some number in your blood. I don't know what number that is.
The BNP.
BNP. Yep.
It's supposed to be around 600.
It's the BNP.
Yep.
Is that supposed to be around 600?
Hey, 600, you're alive. There's something at that number.
Well, mine was in the thousands.
That's the number.
He said, "Mine,
that's
you're
the number. If you're normal, if you're extremely normal, it's between 1 and 400 being high, and if you're in the thousands, your blood is becoming toxic, and you're not getting oxygen. And I'm not a doctor, but I've had every test in the world and suffered through a bunch of procedures. And that's the number. If you're in the thousands, they're going to keep you.
Well, he said 10,000, and I was like,
yeah, that's on the other side of life.
I didn't know what that was. So he goes,
I bet.
I like that, Greg.
He said, I'm
other
keep
side of
you
life. Okay.
Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, I'm not a cardiologist. I'm going to keep you here.
And that's why they take the blood. If they sent you home, you wouldn't have come back.
Well, that's what happened. And so he says, I'm going to get you leveled out, and your doctor will be here tomorrow, and he's going to straighten this out. So I think he gave me nitroglycerin or something like that.
Yeah. No,
maybe.
They can level you out. It's just they have to address the issue.
So I'm in the room, like probably 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm in the room, and around the corner, Dr. Brown, Elliot Brown, he came to the hospital. He had a sweatpants on and a hoodie. And I was watching a repeat of a Law and Order or something in the hospital. And I go, what are you doing here? And he said, I was at an affair, but then I went on the portal and I saw your numbers and I couldn't believe what I saw. I thought it might have been, he goes, I flipped out and I had to come and see for myself, because if I went to sleep and something happened to you overnight, I wouldn't, because I know I've been at his house, we're kind of friends with him. So he said,
you socialize with him.
Something happened.
Okay. Whoa. Nice.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Not a lot, but enough for him.
Yeah, but not enough that he couldn't take your case.
Yeah, and so he went and he said, I gotta get that. What's the machine at ultrasound?
Okay.
Yeah,
they want to take a picture of your heart.
He goes, I want to see this. So he goes. He asked the nurse.
And they push it in your chest and the whole thing.
Well, he went and got. He says, "I'll get it. Just tell me where it is." This is like 11:30 now. He said, brings it in.
He did his own on you.
He did his
Very
own.
lucky.
Yeah, he did it. And then he shows me on his phone, and he goes, "See, you got a lot. This is damage here." He goes, "But on the way down, I talked to my surgeon, my best surgeon, and tomorrow morning at 7:30,
you're getting catheterized.
We're going in, and we're gonna put stents." So he says
wow.
It's all set up. So I'm ready to go. So 7:30, 7 o'clock, they wake me up. I'm on the thing. They're rolling me out. They roll me in. They put me out. And then I kind of just wake up. I look and it's 8:15. And I said, what just happened? And this guy goes, we can't put stents. He said,
whoa.
Too much damage.
That much damage?
Stents are not going to work.
Whoa.
Well, it's the arteries or the veins. It's one of the two, and it could have been both.
Arteries.
Yeah.
It was arteries. So I said, so what does that mean? You got to crack me open? He goes, we don't like to use that terminology, but yeah, we got to do open heart surgery.
Did you have a clog?
So
were you clogged? Sorry? Is that why they couldn't do the stents?
I I don't know if it collapsed. I don't
Something.
know the deal.
Okay, it could have
He
calcified. It
showed
could have
me-
been
Like
anything.
he showed me, it looked like a scary drawing with a magic book. You know,
Wow.
I was looking at the phone. I'm like, I don't know what this means, but I'll trust your judgment. So then he said, all right, so this was Wednesday morning. They couldn't do the stents. He says, we're going to keep you here Thursday and make sure you're all leveled. Everything is good. And then Friday morning, you're going in. And Friday morning, I went in. And then I woke up on Sunday, which is a whole nother story, because they had interviewed me with kind of a young nurse. It's kind of a good story. I think it's kind of funny, but it's not. But she's interviewing me saying, okay, do you drink? And I was a pretty heavy hitter, I go, yeah. Yeah. So she goes like, well, what do you drink? I go, 6.
Uh-oh.
6 what? 6 beers.
Uh-oh.
6 beers a week?
Uh-oh.
I go, 6 beers, that's happy hour. 6 beers a day.
Uh-oh.
At least. And then I might have a vodka or two. It's summertime. And don't count Saturdays.
Uh-oh.
So I don't have to go to work. So she freaked out, almost thought I was a full-blown alcoholic,
Uh-oh.
which I guess I was, but not as bad as they thought.
Okay.
So after the surgery,
They tilt the numbers.
apparently,
14
well,
a day.
she
no big
told
deal.
them, and their reaction was, it must have been, oh my God. So after they did the surgery, they kept me under, I guess, induced coma, so to speak, and then fed me. When I woke up, it was Sunday. I didn't know any of this was going on, but I woke up and it's Sunday, and the nurse just gave me something. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? And she goes, here, drink it. You're going to like it. I go, what is it? She goes, just drink it.
Giving you vodka.
I'm like, what is it? She goes, you're going to like it. It's going to taste like whiskey. So I go, come on, get the fuck out of here. So I took it, and it tasted like whiskey. And I go, what do you got, an airport bottle here or something? What is that?
No, it's
She was like,
prescription.
yeah. Then she left. But they kept me. I found out that they gave me one Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, and Sunday night. And I didn't find out 2 weeks later. I went to the surgeon for like a follow-up or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what was that? What did they give me?
They give you
What was
whiskey.
that? And she goes, they gave you whiskey. I go,
They
you kidding me?
prescription.
Oh.
You can write if you're in. I had heard this when I was not in. I had heard this third party, but if you're on a I don't want to say it the wrong way. If you're
If you're a drunk.
well, if you're a drunk, they don't want you going through shakes.
No,
and
convert like us, the DTs.
yeah, they will actually. You can see a prescription for vodka, beer. If you say I only drink beer, they'll give you beer, and they
I told her I mix it up a little. I did. But she said.
Well, let me
I'm
ask
sorry,
you
go ahead.
this: is it kind of like? And I'm going to ask this really to Greg. Is it like the equivalent of being a heroin addict, where they give you
Yes.
methadone in place of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Same
Yes.
principle.
Wow.
Probably the same principle.
Yes. And because they'd rather just have you keep drinking and monitor it as opposed to.
Well, she just said, she goes, you know you have no idea what we did to you. We got you wired together. We couldn't take the chance of you like.
Oh, and this is after surgery.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
That's when they gave me a day after surgery.
So you had a comment. You had a.
What's ironic is your doctor actually wrote you a prescription for alcohol.
Alcohol.
And
Apparently,
So you had a concoction of whiskey,
Yeah.
prescription whiskey, and duct tape. And that kind of kept you all
Well,
together.
my experience was I had heard that, and I had asked my coordinator, because after my first surgery I had a heart pump, and I had said, if I was an alcoholic, I can get beer. She goes, well, they'd even give you vodka if you're addicted to hard liquors or are constant drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is yes.
I mean, well, Jack and Ginger was one of my favorites, so maybe that's what. That's come on. That was my favorite. I mean,
Jack and Ginger.
Years ago, I would get on the road crew, like, don't worry about tuning. The guy'd be like, I'm tuning. Roger, where's my Jack and Gingers? And he's like, I'm tuning. Never mind tuning. Where's the Jack and Gingers? So that was one of my favorites. I probably mentioned that, but
in a semi-conscious state.
Yeah, well, it was my warm up. You know what I mean? A couple of beers, a couple of Jack and Gingers, and I'm ready to rock. I mean, that was that then. Now it's one bottle of water,
Okay.
and I'm ready to go.
So what did they do in the surgery?
It was a double bypass. So
Okay.
apparently they took
A
artery
vein out of your leg.
whatever. They took it out of my wrist.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, they took
Okay.
it from here.
Oh, you were
from here.
definitely out for a while.
Wow.
And then I guess they spliced them in, and
Mhm.
and then the double
Literally, yeah.
bypass. So I think they did. They pushed my heart out of the way and
Yeah.
did what they had to do, flopped it back in, closed it up, and wired me up. And I do remember waking up. I mean, I had pictures of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I was wired up. I had a neck. I remember having something in my neck.
Yeah, it's called a swan.
The worst part was there was two drains or something down below. And when they pulled them out, they told me this is
the
gonna
hoses right out of your chest.
Yeah, right. There's two, and I saw.
They go. You got to give them a note. You got to hum a note.
Well, I saw my next album cover. It was like fluorescent pink. It looked like a Pink Floyd album. I pulled that out. I saw colors. It was wild.
The pink mist.
It was purple and pink, like neon lights. And I was like, wow, that was the worst. That was the worst of it all. But I remember yelling at them, like Patty told me you were a pain in the ass. But there was wires everywhere, and they weren't neat. They weren't neat. You know what I mean? Like,
no, well, they have no choice. It's a priority situation.
Yeah, I don't think they're going for. They're not going for aesthetics when they're trying to get your heart.
Well, that's what I said. I have 32 channel boards, and the wiring is neat. Like, who does this?
Well,
I said, this wiring.
How do I say this?
Greg would know better that way.
Number one, in retrospect, just hearing what happened, you're so lucky to have a mild symptom of a major problem, and at the same time to get the care from second, third party contacts that were able to go all the way up to a cardiologist to not only get you admitted but seen and then into emergency surgery.
Yeah, no, I mean,
sometimes it doesn't happen like that. And, I got treated in 2 Jersey hospitals and saved my life, between the catheterization, knowing I was having heart failure, getting transferred and then getting treated was, just incredible that the level of instant attention that you can get for being so sick. It's one of the things people don't talk about. They talk about how, healthcare is this or healthcare is that. And you got a top tier experience and, God bless America. Cause
you're not kidding. I mean,
you are very lucky.
In other places you'd be left on the street.
Yep.
And you know what it is? I would have probably just gone to the Walgreens and got Gas X, that stuff. I guess it's gas, something for gas, not knowing.
Wow.
Well, the gas was just a symptom, and at the end of the day, you'd have gone to sleep and not woken up.
Right, but I mean that's why they call it. I heard they call it the silent killer.
That's part of it. Yeah,
they have issues. Like they have some, like they'll have that indigestion.
I mean, it sounded like you had you clogged out either on your arteries or your veins because it was just a double, and it could have been one of each. And at the end of it, they've been doing these surgeries for decades now, and you're on the other side of it, but. These doctors are committed to caring, saving lives, and they intervened on an instantaneous level that they saw your blood and literally interacted. And, bless them.
They saved my life, no doubt about it.
Yep.
But
and then you get the lecture, right? Afterwards, they give you the lecture about how you got to change your life.
Well,
let me say this. The fact that you had Dr. Elliot Brown?
Yes.
Yeah, that was your ace in the hole right there.
Oh, he saved my life. He saved my life. And when it was all done, put his arm around me. He goes, "Now listen, you've been down this road. You've been going on this road for a while." He goes, "And now there's a fork in the road, and you kind of got to go the other direction." and enjoy the rest of your life.
Mm.
You know, because I mean, like I was no Keith Richards, but I had a 50-year run. You know what I mean?
Well,
You know what I mean? I had
once
a
they
good
hear
run.
you're a musician, though, they already put 2.5 strikes against you.
Yep.
Well, that's it. And he said, "Listen, you know, you had your thing, you did your thing, but now it's just, you know, you want to stick around. So let's make a turn and get off that path and get on a new one." And that's what I did. I mean, and it's all good. You know, I'm enjoying it.
How long ago was this?
2/25/22 was the actual surgery. The heart attack was 2/22/22.
Wow.
Okay. Well, you're lucky. You played a good number.
Yeah,
You
2/22/22 was actually when I went to the emergency room.
should have. You should
2/25
have
was
actually. You should have literally played lotto with those numbers, because it sounds like.
Yeah, it's just too many twos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't
Too
play that many twos.
I played triple twos, you know. But
That's
no,
okay.
yeah,
It's an
both of
even
them.
beat.
Mhm.
You know, they didn't give you 7-8.
Okay.
Yeah, and
You know,
between
or a 5-9.
yeah, right. And it's between Elliot and his team, the whole team, they were all great.
Awesome.
Even like it was just they're just, you know, to save my life. What else can I tell you? It was
Awesome.
just,
No,
you know,
I mean,
no,
look,
I did.
the reason we call it Change of Heart podcast is because if you look at our logo, which is this triangle, is you spent your whole life knowing or consciously or not consciously going up this hill or up this path.
Yep.
And what the peak and going downhill is that moment when you have this incident, this revelation, this life-turning event that, you know, makes you appreciate life and being thankful for the people that helped you.
Oh, no doubt. And now I'm kind of, you know, everybody, you know, you'll be back. You know, they're like, oh, you'll be back. You'll be back drinking. You know what I mean? Because I was like, right after it happened, I'm like, I'm having waters and a lot of people that know me are saying, there's no way that you're not, you know.
Yeah, here's a beer, dude.
Yeah, you'll be back. You'll be back. And I'm like, I don't think so. And, you know, I mean, I used to go to.
Well, let me ask you this: were you only a drinker? Did you smoke at all, or you strictly were you were just drinking?
Were you in all of the above?
Were you in all the above?
Pretty much. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I stopped smoking cigarettes.
It's a fair answer. I mean, look, it was one of the, you know, the questions that they ask you, you know, I mean, they go, because they're really doing like a psychological makeup of how you got into this position of being sick. And, you know, from people who lead very healthy lifestyles, they looked at you and they said, oh, a shot and 3 beers. And now they're feeding you alcohol. And you're like, but, you know, I know people that down whole bottles of Jameson, you know, like it's nothing. And they seem fine. But now I'm a detriment to society. Well, but the next question I have is, how long were you in the hospital after the surgery?
They did the surgery, I think, on a Friday.
Mm-hmm. You woke up on Sunday.
Woke up on Sunday. I think I got out of there on Thursday. Is that possible? Maybe?
Yeah, that's a
that is possible.
Great recovery.
Yeah.
How long did they get you walking? How quickly were you walking?
As soon as I could, even if it was just down the hall.
Mm-hmm. It's the fastest part of recovery. I started walking
probably Monday. I mean, Sunday I woke up.
Yeah, no, wow. I mean that's
Monday
that's what they do.
Can I walk? And they're like, yeah, you can walk. First, you walk to the bathroom and back and see if you don't fall. I was all hooked up, I had to drag that thing around, and then it was like, let's walk down.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's like I woke up from a heart transplant, and they're like, okay, you got to get out of this bed into this chair, and then I'm going, I'm taking today off, dude. Thank you. I 13 hours of surgery. You changed the heart. You want me to get up? No. They go, no, you have to get up right now, Mr. West.
No, they said, walk, like definitely.
You got to walk, and that's and literally going to walk out the door.
Now, when you started walking, sorry to interrupt everybody, but was it difficult when you first started?
I think it was more scary. It wasn't like running out of breath. I think
you can't fall. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
that I know. Once you fall, you're there for like another 10 years.
Month.
Yeah, they just keep you there for a long time.
Well, if you fall, you could mess up. That's like having a seizure. You mess up the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So that was more. It was more scary that you were going to have like you would trip or just move sudden. But as it went along, I mean, I just I started as soon as I could because I didn't want this thing to bring me down. So I was like, okay, can I walk? And I would go out the house, walk up the block, walk down.
Were there
And-
COVID rules in place when you had this done?
Were there what?
COVID rules.
No, it was done. I think
This was
COVID
afterward, so people can come and visit you, and you had people around you, and how far were you from where you lived? What, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
15. Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah, it was close.
you're very lucky. I mean,
You are.
not to blurt my case, but I was, I live up in Orange County, and I was treated in the Bronx, for the hard part of what I had to go through, and it was just. This was during COVID. They didn't let anybody in.
Oh yeah,
and,
that's really tough.
I mean, there's a whole different set of rules at play, let alone how you're getting treated.
Yeah,
So-
no, it was everything.
Yeah,
like,
dude, you're very lucky.
You are.
I mean, just
Incredibly.
20-minute ride. Patty was there right by my side the whole way through.
Yeah, that
And-
was going to be my next question, was asking you, what kind of support did you have from your family?
My daughter was there. My other daughter's in Chicago. She came in,
Okay.
but my other daughter lives here in Jersey. She came up every day. Her and Patty. Somebody was there for the whole visiting hours. You know what I mean? It was well, the first 3 days I was out. I was out of it, so I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you were a fan of the TV show The Sopranos, but the revelation you go through is every day is a gift. Every day is a gift.
Here's a gift.
Yeah,
And you start doing the double take on how you got here and how you're going to be nice to people and how everything changes. And when one of the things we talk about are cheat foods. And when that time came that you ended up going back to like Rutt's Hut or something and start diving into a Ripper with relish and chili on it, like
chili you have to buy separate. They don't put them on. You have to buy chili separate on website. Okay, they don't have chili dogs.
I got a video where the owner's son is the guy running it now, actually prepared the hot dog. That was,
Did he?
I was impressed.
Yeah, they don't do that. Usually it's like, we have chili. You want to buy a bowl? We don't put it on.
Yeah, you want to buy the bowl. Yeah, they got
that's
you.
it. Yeah, I'm very familiar with it.
And there's a lot of cheat food in
There's
New
cheap
Jersey.
food everywhere.
So.
It's just, well, that's another thing. I mean, I don't say I was a bad eater.
Okay.
I didn't.
Mhm.
I wasn't that bad. I mean, Patty stays on my case with that. I don't eat a lot of junk. I mean,
Are you on a lot of meds now?
I'm on I think two meds related to that. Clopidogrel?
Lisinopril.
Familiar? No, Clopidogrel.
Okay.
And a something Vaseline, which one of them is cholesterol,
Okay.
one of them is the heart thing, and the rest is vitamins. Like
Yeah.
multivitamins.
Tons of supplements. Tons of
Yeah.
supplements.
Yeah, that's a lot of supplements. That's it. I mean, when I first got out, I was on a lot.
Oh,
but he stopped that.
Clopidogrel. It's like Plavix.
Clopidogrel.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's it. On that, that's a thinner, I think, right?
Yes.
I think it's a blood thinner because
Kind of. What it actually does is Anthony's on because now I'm Mr. Nosy with everybody else's meds.
Yeah, but you have good reason to be, since you're the out of everyone here, you're the veteran.
What it does is, and I'm going to get this wrong, it's not so much a thinner as it is, it maintains the muscle. It keeps your heart pumping at a regular rate. And it's how long you been on it? You've been on it the whole time?
I believe so. Since
And you're on like 25s,
22.
right? Like once a day?
Once a day. That's
Yeah.
it.
It's a drug that maintains your heart health, and it's not so much a thinner as it is a stabilizer.
Works for me.
No. I was on it for 7 years, And when, this is when I had, a lot of copays and everything. And I was, doctor, when he goes, well, I could take you off this. He goes, you only should have really been on it for like 2 years. And I'm like, well, why was I on it for an extra 5 years? And his answer was, well, you were doing so good. Okay. So,
I have to go actually now. I got to go for a non-fasting blood test.
Yeah.
Just wants to check me out. I just got to. I forgot all about it. But I had just had a spine issue too. I'm just getting over that. I had that January 5th.
We had the other show for that where Anthony talks about where you become the chiropractor's dream playing bass.
You're the wet dream for the chiropractor. Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what it was? It was that P bass you had. It caused a spinal issue.
It's that and my day job. My day job is, sitting down like that. That's what he told me. He goes, I'm not even going to worry about the bulging discs.
Wow.
So are you walking? Are you exercising?
Let me ask you this first. Let me ask you this first. What kind of rehab did you go through?
There you go.
Physical therapy. What are you talking about for the heart?
Cardio rehab.
Cardio rehab.
No, you know what? I didn't. It was so backed up from COVID.
Yes.
Okay? There was such a backup.
I hear you.
Physical therapy from the COVID that I just started walking. I just started walking myself, and I was up to like almost 3 miles a day and then when I called the doctor or I called the hospital or something to go to schedule rehab, he said, listen, you're going to go to rehab, and there's going to be a lot of like older people there that they go because they won't do anything unless they go to physical therapy. He goes, you're out walking, you're pretty active. He goes, I don't think you need to go at this point because there was a 6-month backup, and by that time,
everywhere, everywhere.
I
had to wait 6 months to get in.
Wow.
Yeah, so he told me don't do it. He said you're doing fine. He goes, I think you're going to go nuts in there because you're going to see people that are they're still trying to walk and shit, and you're going to be going circles.
I was that guy. Trust me. I had the first time I went to cardio rehab. I was wearing a vest with lithium batteries, and I had a heart pump installed. And
it's a little different than I was already buttoned up, starting to heal. Walking. I mean, it was past. Remember, they told me you couldn't lift up anything for a while, 7 pounds or something. It's like a gallon of water, and then eventually, like I just I didn't want to stop playing. So
I'm going to ask, and even though it's bass related, when did you first pick up a bass again? How many days, weeks after you got home?
I'm going to say it was a couple of weeks.
That's normal.
I got a Fender acoustic that's like 7 pounds. So they told me 7 pounds, that's like your limit.
Yep.
And I weighed that bass. It was 7 pounds. So I was.
I weighed the bass.
Yeah, I was rehearsing with a couple of buddies. Not rehearsing, rehearsing. I was filling in for a guy with them. And I brought the acoustic and sat down. I said, listen, we can rehearse, but I'm going to sit.
I'm going to say you weren't standing up with that acoustic bass. You were sitting down.
No, but he just from experience, in the surgery I had, my left hand was numb for months, and I couldn't really fret, but it was just it's sitting right next to me, and I'm like, soon, and then
as soon as I could.
You pick it up, and half of it feels natural and half of it hurts.
Well, I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go finish, please.
Oh, what it was? It had to be a couple of weeks because the first 2 weeks I couldn't even sit in the front seat of a car.
I understand.
Okay, I had in the back seat. I had my little heart pillow.
Coughing? Were you coughing?
Yeah, that little heart.
Hold
pillow.
it on.
Yeah, you hold it, and then
I'm going to bring my pillow for the
2
new
weeks.
shows.
I was allowed to sit in the front, but I still had my purple pillow, my heart pillow. So I think I couldn't drive for 4 weeks.
At least.
Wow.
So it was probably 4 weeks that I was able to drive myself over to play with these guys. Okay. So by the 4th week, I guess I was able to pick up the 7-pound bass. Put it in the car.
It's ahead of the curve. The rumor I heard was the number of weeks you can't drive is equal to the hours of surgery you had. So
I don't know how many hours of surgery I had because I didn't
well,
wake
that's
up.
I know. Well, my first surgery was 13 hours, not somewhere between 10 and 13 hours, and the second one was about 13 hours unconscious.
No, Ant, he also had surgery or
No
what?
surgeries. I just
No, Anthony's at the entrance of the highway of heart disease.
Yep.
And so where when we talk to in our other show about bass playing, Anthony is the expert and I'm the hack. And when we switch cameras to the Change of Heart, I become the Elvis, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, David Gilmour of
The heart. Yep.
of heart disease.
And I just listen a lot. I do a lot of
I'm pretty much a hack on the both ends, but I'm getting by,
you know, hack, dude.
But
hack.
you
put a lot out there.
Yep.
You put a lot out there. And how did you feel yourself getting stronger so your surgery was in May, right?
Which one? No,
February.
February.
Right? So
first gig was in June.
And
first gig I did was in June, and I used a lighter P bass.
Oh, no. What I'm trying to drive at is because you had this really, you had an involved hobby, which performing is, you had to quickly build up your stamina and your feeling of energy. And, I just know I had a friend that literally dragged me out of my house, grabbed my amp and put me back in a band. And it was just a priceless event because
that's what I mean. It's something to drive to give you that drive to get moved. I bought a Fender Rumble lamp, right? It's 200 watt amp that weighs 30 pounds. You know what I mean? It's a great little practice. I had that there before I had the heart attack.
Did your breathing change?
I'm sorry?
Did your breathing change?
I don't know. It might be for the better.
It's true. Definitely.
I think it might have been for
fixed.
the better. Because I stopped smoking, weed, not the cigarettes. And I don't know, maybe it got better.
It did.
Because I'd go to work, come home, not go home, stop at the happy hour, pound a few down, come home and eat, pound a few more, I wasn't worried about trying to get in any kind of shape.
Look,
once that shit happened,
essentially what seemed to have happened was the mechanism for providing oxygen in the blood to your body was constricted. And at the end of the day, they fixed it. So everything's going to re-heal. The heart is a muscle. And Anthony will tell you firsthand that when you're diagnosed as sick and then you're treated medically, the heart will get stronger.
Absolutely.
It's not like an organ. It's not like a liver or a kidney or a lung that if there's deterioration, that's where it settles. Yeah. But the heart will rebuild.
Well, that's I tell you the truth. I didn't know I had one until I had a heart attack. I wasn't sure. That's just somebody said you had a heart attack. I said I didn't really know I had one. I just found out myself.
This is what the Change of Heart podcast is. It's about hearing the firsthand experiences of people that had a heart experience that redirected their purpose.
Yes. So what's your life like now as far as your diet? Like, what are you doing as far as diet, exercise? Are you changing? Did you make any life-changing habits?
Well, I joined the gym. The physical therapy I've just got over the spine thing, which is another story, but I was in physical therapy and there's a copay involved there. And it was like 3 times a week. And I'm doing the same kind of thing. I kind of get the drill. So I just said, you know what? I might as well just go join Planet Fitness, and okay. It's got all the machines there. So yeah, I made if I'm going to Planet Fitness and doing this pretty much the workout I was doing for physical therapy, and I got the treadmill outside. I put the headphones on, I put my little earbuds in, and I'm not a fanatic, but I'm doing a lot more than I ever did. I mean, I'll
Okay.
do it a mile and a half, like a mile and a half an hour.
Well,
Okay.
You know,
That's, not,
I
that's
mean,
still not bad.
I mean, the real test is when you got back on stage and you have to like even out that enthusiasm, and
I
you
don't even
know,
it out. I'm still,
grip
you
and
know,
rip. You're grip and rip.
I'm trying. Yeah, the hardest part is walking because of them silly boots. So I have to be careful that I'm going to fall. But other
Those
than
books are
that,
hard.
yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm,
Yeah, no,
put it out there.
I had, you know, I had two extensive surgeries, and you know, the first one took me 4 months to get back to a show, but after my transplant, 6 weeks, I was back on stage.
Yeah. Well,
So,
like I said, that gives you something to look forward to.
Mhm.
The whole
Sure.
part of that was having this. Like doing I learned how to play, with a bong and a beer and a turntable.
Mm.
So I never really played sober. Sad,
Wow.
I always had a
it's enlightening, though. I mean, you'll always hear from, you know, elite players that who used to, you know, use mood modifiers to get, you know, their
Yeah.
mojo going, but once they start playing sober, they don't go back.
No, I'm loving it. I mean,
Well, let me ask you this.
people that know me a long time and they watch me drinking the water, they're like, "What the hell are you doing? Come on, have a shot.
Wow.
Come on, man." I'm like, "No, I'm good."
Do you know when you had that epiphany moment? Do you know exactly what day when it actually happened, or did it just kind of slowly seep up to you?
Well, right after I came out of surgery, that was it.
Oh wow.
When I had the heart attack, that was it. I just said I had had enough. I got a second chance and I'm going to take it, and I'm loving it. It's kind of cool. I like it.
Okay. Good for
I
you.
don't miss it. I don't. I don't know. I don't miss it. My buddy after the surgery, I went to Aruba with a buddy. There was a couple. There was like 14 people.
Okay.
One of my buddies, he had his stints in rehab. 3 of them.
Okay.
Okay. Two of them ritzy ones, and then he
Okay.
had one that was just like a slummy little place in Kearney, New Jersey.
Oh wow.
And he said, "Listen," he said, "the guy in Kearney sat me down and says, see all this 90-day, 30-day stuff." He goes, "This is all going through the motions." He said, "What you got to do is give it 1 year." He goes, "Just hang in there 1 year, and your brain is going to reset, and you are not going to even think about it anymore. You're going to be the same as you were without any help." He says, "But you got to it's going to take at least a year for your brain to reset." So I did it, and so far so good. Knock on wood. I mean, I'm liking it.
Well, I'm going to knock on wood.
Wait, 1 second, Greg.
Go for it. Yeah, no, I'm not losing this story.
You mentioned Kearney, New Jersey, and then Greg mentioned The Sopranos earlier.
What's that?
Kearney's a tough place.
Kearney, New Jersey, then Greg mentioned The Sopranos.
Kearney's a very, very tough town.
Very tough area.
There's no subtlety in Kearney. But Bobby, what I was going to say was, you just mentioned how, you know, your brain resets. And I had my transplant was it was on 11/20/20 was my second birthday. Mm-hmm. And where this was last year, and you know, Anthony and I were going to start a podcast on bass, and he calls me up and he says, we're going to be doing a show on heart disease. And I just said to him, I said, quite honestly, I've been spending 2.5 years trying to forget it,
trying to get away from it. And I kind of dragged him back in, kind of like Al Pacino's character in The Godfather.
and now every day I get to relive it. And but it obviously keeps me focused. And you know, I'm on a few more meds than you and a lot more supplements. And you know, I'm praising all the doctors, which is why when I hear other people's stories, it always I've never seen a lack of attention from medical professionals towards a patient. And the fact that when all the red flags kicked in, you know, somebody who knew how to help somebody went above and beyond to save you.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, they're amazing. You know, they know what they're doing. You know,
Yeah, it's a lot of
sounds like you're gonna
training.
crack me open. You're going to crack me open and give me new parts. You know,
Well,
like,
I mean, not
it's
even
a
that.
used part.
No, that's I got a used part. Trust me. It was it
Well, I
was.
got my own used. I mean, they took something from here and put it in here. So,
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean,
You know
yeah,
what I
you
mean?
got. Did it affect your playing?
no, I don't think so.
Well,
I don't
then
think so.
there you
Yeah.
go.
There it is.
I'm,
That's a
I-
win-win.
It is.
yeah, no, I don't think it
Nice.
did. I mean, I could use a little more slap lessons from Anthony.
Oh
you know,
boy.
Yeah,
but,
what's it going on?
you know,
Well, Anthony's first lesson is you get to wear a kilt.
Gotta wear a kilt first. Everyone's gonna wear a
I have
kilt.
no problem with that.
Oh boy.
Look, you wear
I have
you wear
no problem with that.
All right,
Just
so
like
now
Gene
now
Simmons,
it's
the kilt
boots
should be an issue.
and kilt. I got it.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right, so let me ask you this.
I've worn a lot worse than a kilt. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Well, Greg and I, we also have a segment on foods to die for. If you could literally get away with eating a certain kind of food, obviously, let's almost forget that you have a heart issue. If you can get away with that food, what would that food choice be?
If I had to get away with eating something bad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you just, there's a lot of stuff you want to eat. You know, you just gotta.
Oh my
like,
God. Oh my
I mean, I'm
goodness.
right now. I'm trying to watch everything. So, God, sometimes I just want pasta. Which you can't have too much. You know what I mean?
Are you affected by diabetes in any way?
No, knock on wood.
Then
No.
you're the winner. Then
You
you're
are the
so
winner.
you're so far ahead of the curve.
Yeah, no, I don't. Like I said, I don't eat super bad. Now I'm eating even better, because I got to fit into silly outfits. I got to
Yeah.
watch what I'm eating.
You gotta just like Gene.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if it's not everything's going okay, and I'm going to just keep going now. That's all. I mean,
Well, that's it.
I'd love to sit down and eat a bowl of ice cream every night, but I can't. So now I'm having
Look,
I have Jello.
if they're literally force feeding you alcohol in the hospital after your surgery and you're not consuming it, you're the winner.
Yep.
Well, it's also because I'm kind of stubborn. Like, Patty
I hate to
thinks.
say it, that's most men. Like
Yeah,
men
Patty-
are known
Patty-
not to go to the doctors. Like we won't go. We have to literally wait for a body part to fall off, or a limb, like for you to wake up and see your arm
yes.
next to you.
That's
Before we
that's
call
the
it
other
the
part of the
hospital.
show. You talked about it. We call it man pride.
Man pride. Yep.
Man
Yeah,
pride.
pretty much what stopped me, it's just for the fact that nobody would think for a minute that I was going to not drink made me stop drinking. It had nothing to do with the
Mhm.
3-day rehab that they kept me under in a hospital. I mean, Patty seems to think that's the case. That's not. I got a second shot. I'm going to take it. That's it. And no matter who believes it, I don't care what you believe. I know what I'm doing. And I'm not going to do it just for spite.
So, but like you never had any blackouts. You never had chest rhythms. You never had
none
the
of that
chest
stuff.
pain.
None of that.
And by the freak of having an acid reflux attack, you were able to literally prevent a catastrophic event.
But that's the thing. I've had acid reflux on occasion. Oh, I had the hot sauce. I ate something too spicy. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no, that was your heart.
Right.
telling you now.
But what
Yeah.
happens is that happens to people, and they just
A lot.
have that episode. It goes, and then they're out shoveling snow, have a heart attack, and die. And that's why he called it the silent killer.
Mhm.
That's what he's saying to me. He goes, people have had heart issues, and they just shrugged it off.
Yep.
And then it happened again, and the damage was there, and then the
Mhm.
second time it just couldn't take it, and they keel over. He said, so,
Mhm.
I know a friend of mine's father, that was in great shape, just keeled over, had a heart attack. He had to have an issue before and just shrugged it off, which
For
I might
months.
have done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
I might have
months.
done that.
Okay.
That's the other question is there any hereditary issues with any of your relatives and
Anyone
heart
in your
disease?
family?
My mother died of what's the fancy word for a heart attack? But she was like 80 something.
Cardiac arrest?
Cardiac arrest.
Oh no,
One of them.
pulmonary. I don't know what they call it. Something. It's the same thing as a heart attack, but she didn't have heart issues.
Mhm.
Nobody had
Yeah,
really any-
that's
You know,
different.
Yeah,
it's
no.
different. Yep. All
That's
right,
Yeah,
so
different.
our final question before we end our segment. What advice would you give someone who thinks that they're having an issue with their heart?
Don't get checked out. It just get checked out. Even if what's the worst that can happen? They'll tell you you're okay,
Mhm.
or you got indigestion, you got
As your wife said earlier in the segment, what's the worst that could possibly happen? You go in the hospital, they send you home for having gas.
send you home for having gas or indigestion.
Mhm.
It's worth the trip. You know what I mean? If I didn't make that trip, who knows? So I would just say, yeah, if you don't feel right, get checked out.
Okay.
It's just that simple.
Bobby
It's nothing else.
Koerner, thank you very
Oh.
much. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks again for having me. I mean, it's a
No,
pleasure.
this is great. Look, man, you've been on 2 of our episodes within the
Yeah.
last 72 hours, actually. This is great.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
you're you're our
Thanks for
first
having me.
back to back.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I learned from listening to Greg. I learned more than I knew about this stuff, but hopefully I won't have to deal with it. I mean, because
No,
I'm trying to
it's-
behave.
For me,
You know?
this is therapeutic, so I don't slip, and it just kind of keeps me focused. Like to hear everyone else's stories, and as a reminder to me to like just in mind to keep myself as organized and as focused on my heart. So if I go to the gym, I'm working off my heart now. I'm not working off my muscles anymore. It's really about my heart. Make sure that I at least stay on top of my diet, stay on top of my supplements, stay on top of my meds, just to make sure that everything stays. I toe the line, as I jokingly say to my mom, mind your business, toe the line, stay in your lane. For me,
Yeah,
it's just
no,
about staying in my lane. Really,
That's
really is
pretty
that
much what
simple.
I'm doing. I'm trying to do the right thing, and it seems to be working, and
Mhm.
you get in a groove, it's not as hard. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even to eat the right stuff, it's not. Okay. It's not a veal parmesan sandwich, but it's close. It's all right. It's okay. Once in a while, yeah, you're gonna have to have one. So don't have it on.
Oh.
Take the bread off.
You're also medicated now on a few fronts that you weren't before. So there's a lot of insurance going on.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, just like I said, I used to love. There's a lot of bad foods. Not that they're bad; they're delicious, and they might be
Anything-
bad
what
for a
was Jack-
situation.
What was Jack LaLanne's line? I used to work for Jack LaLanne many years ago before he passed, and he'd always say, "If it tastes good, spit it out."
Yeah. So
Because you know it's going to be.
I love it.
Yeah.
It tastes
All
good,
right.
spit it out. All right, guys, this is awesome.
Thank you.
thanks so much.
Yep.
All right, and thanks very much, and be good, guys. Keep in touch.
Thank you.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you're in the family. You're in the COH and the CFP family.
Yep.
I'm glad to be there.
So
Good time.
yeah,
No, it's awesome. I love it. I love
It's
it.
good talking to you.
Yes,
There we go.
pleasure.